Further debate, the member for Thornhill.
Thank you, Speaker. And I have 8 minutes because of the time allocation motion, Speaker. And so, given that I don't have the time to really explore this as fully as I would have liked, I'd like to begin with a bit of a guessing game, and I'll ask members if they can identify the person I'm quoting. Am I the only one here who wonders whether it's all worth it? Whether with this government and the way they go on with their closure and time allocations, the role of this place is being diminished to such a great extent that backbenchers and opposition members must really ask themselves what their role is. Who said that, Speaker? The answer is the current Deputy Premier on December 21st, 1999 in opposition. That's who. And if you... That was then and this is now. That's correct. And that part hasn't changed. That part hasn't changed. Don't you complain about time allocation motions, and don't you complain about the role of the government backbenchers, all of that stuff, and then take government and enforce this on us. This is a disgrace. I was here, as were the government members this morning in question period. I watched question period as a backbencher myself. And I listened as everybody on this side, and I'm sure in your mind some of the backbenchers themselves wondered what had happened to democracy. As I said earlier, in response to a member's debate from the other side, it's quite remarkable the queue of emails and letters that come into an MPP's office when constituents aren't happy. I wonder if the government members, particularly in the backbench, actually believe that negative emails complaining about the DST come only to Conservatives and NDP members. Can't be possible. The problem, Speaker, is that they've all drunk the Kool-Aid. No hearings, no consultations, no time to debate.
Shameful.
We hear about the global recession. The global recession caused all this. It's like the devil made me do it. The global recession caused it. You know, there is a global recession. It's affected all of us. There is no doubt of that. But if anybody cares to check Hansard for a period of years, and I'm talking about years going back to 2003 when that government got hold of this province, this side was telling you what would happen, was warning of gathering storm clouds, but you weren't listening. You weren't listening then, you're not listening now, and you won't be listening after the global recession is gone. And this province, this wonderful Ontario that all 107 of us in this chamber enjoy, Speaker, is being torn asunder by the actions of that government. True to form, in the shadows of the legislature, the McGuinty Liberals are trying to shut down debate and public hearings on this year's budget. Shame. Why won't you take this to the people? Shame. Why won't you ask people what they believe? I don't for a moment buy the fact that backbench members had a say in this, and I don't for a moment buy the fact that backbench members don't know what they're going to face in 2011 as a result of this. This is Act 1, Speaker. We're here debating this today. We must remember that this budget addresses a number of things, and one of the things it addresses is an 8% additional tax on Ontarians that doesn't come into effect in this budget year. It only comes into effect next year.
Happy Canada.
So Act 1 comes to a close because of the time allocation motion, and this will, Speaker, go away for a while. Trust me, we'll keep it alive. And then next year, when the merged sales tax, the blended sales tax, the BST, the DST, whatever you want to call it, comes into force, and people are forced to pay that on their heating oil, on their Tim Hortons, on their funerals, all that long list of things that it doesn't apply to now. This will come back and haunt you. Act 2. The government is trying to hide the damaging effects of its own economic policies on Ontario families, on Ontario businesses, on Ontario seniors most of all.
Shame.
I'm at 22,000 of whom are sitting on wait lists for an average of about 110 days. Take a stick and poke their eye out, why don't you? How much more can you hurt them?
Exactly.
This government is allowing 5 hours debate on a $108 billion budget, and that debate is the only discussion under the aegis of this legislative assembly that will be held at all. Only here, only in this chamber, only now, only in Toronto.
Only in Dalton McGuinness.
Our party is calling for an amendment that would allow additional hearings in communities around this province so that Ontarians can voice their concerns about Dalton's latest tax grab and other economic issues. Why are you so afraid of that? I hear the hooting on the other side. What scares you so much? Don't you want to hear from people, real Ontarians? 13 million out of there, hurting right now, hurting, without any help from you, and now you impose this on them. Will Liberal MPPs, Speaker, be permitted to vote freely and stand up for their constituents? For all the noise that I'm hearing coming from the other side, I am sure there are some silent members here today and not here now that when this comes for a vote will question their consciences, but will wind up going along with the government because they've been told to do so, even though they know that the hundreds of interventions coming into their offices from their constituencies are saying, please help us. You know, backbenchers, you know because you have the same emails and you have the same letters that I do. I went into the budget lockup, Speaker, myself, on March 26, because I thought, well, it'll bring back my old days, the days that I went into lockups and made my own notes as a reporter. Read the material. You know, it's very interesting when you go into the lockup. You can't leave, so you eat the lousy lunch. And you come to your own conclusions. And you know what? I did not have to be, Speaker, an ex-reporter or an opposition MPP to see that we were in trouble. We were in a great deal of trouble. Not the kind that I knew we were in, but the new kind that this budget would be creating. The budget did not adequately address reality. The McGuinty government is in trouble. It reflects the fact that Ontario is in trouble. Every single person in this province is in trouble as a result of what you people are going to pass, and you're going to pass it without giving them a chance.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Speaker.